let's look at ways to work with the static methods and the instance methods when we're dealing with our delegates. Now, we know that we have a delegate that's going to represent multiple methods that we can have the same signature and then use that delegate to actually represent the methods. Very nice. So we know that. And we also know that we can put our delegates first in our class declarations here, or we can actually put the method names there. So here we just have the delegate at the very, very top. We also have a class here, my class, and you can see that we have a method here, method 1, which is a string, and you see, wow, that really matches that delegate there. Alright, so that looks like the one we're going to be using. And as we slide down, we're going to define a static method as well. Method 2, integer for the parameter list, and just very nice to be able to get that to go. It's returning a string. A static way to do that. We know that it's going to be able to work without having to instantiate that class to get to that method. Alright, so we know that. If you want to see the static videos, you can take a look at those. So no static, static. Then we slide down. Now, here we're creating a delegate for each method. Class 1, C1, my class. We're instantiating the class. C1's the variable. Well, when we do the first delegate, my delegate equals new my delegate. So we know that signature matches. You can see the other example if you want to see it working with different ways, different delegates and method signatures and things like that. Here we're just going to say C1.method1. That's an instance method. That's how you handle that. The static way of doing it is just to say my class.method2. And that's the static way. We don't have to instantiate this class like we did the first one in order to get to method 2. Very nice to do that. So here we just invoke the delegates here. We have some integers and we're just going to write out the information. You can see we're working with D1 here, and that's going to just work with that method 1. And then D2 is going to work with that method 2. And if we look up at the implementation, here we're just seeing if the number is a positive, negative, or 0 actually. So I is greater than 0, positive. Otherwise it's either negative or 0 if it's not less than 0. No big deal. And here we're just outputting, we're returning a string, and we're doing the multiplication here. The number and then number times 5, whatever gets passed in. No big deal. Simple stuff. And then we're just seeing how that works. We're using it right here, just like it were a method. No big deal. Static and the instance. Debug. There we go. You can see that the output works no problem. And it's all doing it there on one line. Very nice to be able to do that. Delegates are great. We're going to see them later. Like I said, the event programming, working with Windows Forms, we're going to be working a lot with delegates and event handlers and things like that. And we've already touched on events a little bit. But there are many advanced things you can do as well. For the most part, you're getting the brunt of things working with static and instance, and also just working with the different signatures to create your delegates and why.